Battle for Neighborville is dying. In less than a year, the game has been overrun by bugs and bots and microtransactions and entire game modes that aren't functional. But how can a game with such a strong franchise and community backing it fail in such an epic proportion? Hi, I'm Psycho Sibs Gaming, but the squad just calls me Psycho, and no, I am not a real psychopath, although you may think I'm a bit crazy for making this disheartening video about the very game that built this channel from the ground up. But this video is important to make, and I think that the failures we're about to discuss are important topics that the Battle for Neighborville developers should address, or at least future game developers can consider when maintaining their own games. Because in all honesty, Battle for Neighborville may be lost. And before we begin, I do want to clarify by saying that I have no ill will towards the developers of this game, and I do not know the full circumstances they are facing. I don't know if they're short-staffed or struggling due to COVID, or even if a larger corporate greed is calling most of the shots. Therefore, it is important to keep some of these things in mind when making critical accusations. However, as a paying customer, I have the right to express my opinion on a product that I paid my actual money for that I believe is falling short of consumer expectations. Now, with that all out of the way, let's begin the real discussion. In today's video of what will unfortunately become a series, we are going to discuss one major issue with Battle for Neighborville. That issue today is the bot problem. Within the past few months, AI players have been introduced into multiplayer to make up for empty lobbies and players who leave the game. This is a good solution in theory, however these bots have a plethora of problems, which we will discuss. We will also discuss why bots are aiding in the destruction of the game and what the developers could have or should do to fix them. Starting off with issue number 1 is the bot experience. So in a normal multiplayer setting, vanquishing an enemy will reward you with around 100 XP, not to mention that it goes up based on a vanquish streaks and other bonuses. Now, I've always thought that the XP gains in multiplayer were rather fair. However, the introduction of bots has completely obliterated using multiplayer for XP. Because the bots were implemented like PvE enemy heroes, and thus only reward you with 25 experience per vanquish. This is only a fourth of what you're supposed to get in multiplayer, and on top of this, bots do not count towards vanquish streaks. I had a game filled with 100% bots on both teams. Actually, this is the game you're seeing right now. And I got a 0 vanquish streak with 11 kills, which should theoretically be impossible because even 1 kill will give you a vanquish streak of 1. This XP reduction was a major oversight and a massive blunder on the developer's part. It should be a simple fix too, just give the players normal XP for killing multiplayer bots. But instead, it is a major deterrent from playing multiplayer, and forces individuals to use grindy XP strategies like the ones I specialize in on this channel in order to level up characters. And yeah, XP strategies are efficient, but truth be told, they're not that fun. I'd rather be playing multiplayer and getting a decent amount of XP than grinding away at Tiger Claws for hours on end. But with the bot XP, it's a near waste of time to play multiplayer to level your characters. The next issue we have is the bot skill level. These bots practically have aimbot. The difficulty of the bots is far too high for the average Battle for Neighborville player. I understand that the developers wanted to make the bots competitive, so having a team of bots isn't a death sentence, but they're so good that I would rather have a team of bots than your garden variety mix of Team Vanquish players. I mean, if you've played lately, you know how ridiculous it is. These bots can lock onto you cross-map. Their aim is always spot on. They can even detect you behind them and then do a 180 spin and lock onto you. Their only weakness is that after every vanquish, they do a dance, which is unrealistic and frankly a stupid way of balancing difficulty. You cannot sneak up on bots. You cannot outplay bots. You simply have to brute force your way through gunfights. And in a game where meta is mobility, these bots completely ruin that. They can laser you no matter what kind of crazy movement you're doing, something that a normal player would not be able to accomplish nearly as well. And I know there will be some of you in the comments who say you're god tier players and bots are easy, but I've heard from enough players struggling with them that I know that the difficulty is definitely a deterrent. And the more players who rage quit lobbies, the more bots there will be. And the final major issue with the bots that I want to address is that they actually cheat. Other than obvious cheating like aimbot, the bots don't seem to have the same limitations that players do. For example, some bots can use multiple abilities at the same time. I've seen Nightcaps use Fung Fu and Shadow Balls while they're invisible. I've seen Rose use abilities during Arcane Enigma. Some other instances of cheating include the 80s Rocket Ride having no recoil and seemingly spot-on accuracy. I've also had an Electric Slide use an Electric Tornado on me while she was a goat. These things should not happen. It's just sloppy and frankly not a whole lot of fun to play against. So in conclusion, what does the bot problem tell me about the game and where its future lies? Well, the bot problem comes across as a lazy attempt to solve an issue that requires much more work and dedication. The problem was that players stopped playing the game, and lobbies were getting empty, so the devs needed a way to fill them. Instead of trying to get more players back into the game, possibly with an onslaught of new content, or at least a more community-driven plan to get Battle for Neighborville back on its feet, they opted for a more shallow, temporary fix by adding in the bots. And if this is just a temporary fix, then yeah, it's actually a great idea. However, they really should have put some more time into testing these bots before the release, because right now they are just causing people to stop playing the game. Let's just say that I would much rather have a major issue like this addressed than a new stream of costumes available for purchase in Rux. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I apologize for the mic quality as well. I'm actually getting a brand new one shipped in soon, so I should have a lot more quality audio in the future. If you did like this video, make sure to give a thumbs up for part 2, and feel free to drop your comments below about how you feel about the bot situation. Otherwise, thank you guys so much again. I'll see you next time. Game on, gamers.